कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामिनिति नामिनि। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तबिंद। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा हरे रामा 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा हरे रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा हरे रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga.
Jaya Jagannath Swami, Jaya Jagannath,
Jagannath Swami,
Jaya
Jagannath,
Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra,
Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra,
Jagannath Swami, Rayana Pataga,
Jagannath Swami, Nayana Pataga,
Rayana Patagami Bhavatume,
Nayana Patagami Bhavadane,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, श्री प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की. Vaibhava will continue where I left yesterday. Yeah, Vaibhava can read this slide. We'll begin with this today. Where I left yesterday, we are continuing from there.
In his Anubhashya, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments, the gopis are purely engaged in the service of the Lord without motive. They are not captivated by the opulence of Krishna, nor by the understanding that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. Krishna was not a...
Please don't want anything from Krishna. Like Dhruva Maharaj wanted a kingdom from Krishna. Similarly, many people ask many things from Krishna, but gopis don't ask for anything. They simply want to make garlands and offer to Radha and Krishna. They want to cook very nice, delicious preparations and offer it. You will find in Vrindavan, everybody is rendering seva in Vrindavan. There is nobody in Vrindavan who is not engaged in any service. Yeah, like Yamuna river is throwing lotus flowers in Krishna's lotus feet. The gardens are producing beautiful flowers to offer to Krishna. Trees are producing ripe fruits to offer to Krishna. Even the wind is blowing to give, soothing effect for Krishna. The clouds are becoming an umbrella, I told you. In the same manner, the topmost of the servants in Vrindavan are the gopis who, who offer great pleasure to Radha and Krishna by their singing, by their dance, by their playing of veena, playing of mridangam, kartal, by cooking various types of items, by dramatizing, by so many different type of services in Vrindavan. So you will see that they don't do anything with any hetu or motivation. Yeah, go ahead.
Krishna was not attracted by the opulence or personal beauty of the gopis, but by their pure devotional service. Similarly, the gopis were attracted to Krishna as a cowherd boy, not in a sophisticated guise.
Yes. Generally, it is seen that if you study the psychology of a boy and a girl, generally they say that girls are attracted to men who are celebrities. Now, celebrity means they are very extraordinary people in society, something heroic work he has done, or a person who is extremely rich, one who can provide for all the amenities and facilities and comforts and luxuries for the wife. Therefore, a woman is attracted to considering marrying a rich man. They consider that. As far as Krishna is concerned, he appeared in Vrindavan as a simple cowherd boy. He's saying that he's herding the cows and calves, but the gopis of Vrindavan would not become attracted to anybody else other than Krishna. Yeah, yes.
Lord Krishna is inconceivably powerful. To understand him, great yogis and saintly persons give up all material engagements and meditate upon him. The gopis are not interested in...
I told you example of Shankaracharya, Shukadeva Goswami, Uddhava, and Shiva, and Lakshmi. So many other examples I gave in the yesterday's class. How many great personalities are after Krishna. Because they have understood that although Krishna looks deceptively simple like a covered boy in Braja, he is actually, in one sense, therefore, Krishna is a great riddle for the biggest of the scholars also. Only those who are very faithful and sincere at heart, they can understand these sublime truths coming in Guru Parampara. Most people often end up in some misunderstanding of Krishna. So, but I cited many examples of great acharyas like Shukadeva Goswami and others, Narada, Vedavyas, all that I told you. So they understand that Lord Krishna appears in a human-like behavior in order to please his devotees, but he is not ordinary. Nor is he extraordinary. He is the ultimate. There is no one equal to him. Matta paratram na anyat. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, there is no truth higher than me. Krishna says that. Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam protam sutre manigana aiva. He's saying, I am like the underlying nylon thread of any, like this kantimala. Underlying, if you remove the nylon thread, all kantis will, fall apart. Similarly, in this world, everything is moving because Krishna is the foundational basis for this whole creation. Like that he says. Go ahead.
Lord, the gopis are not interested in dice speculation, in the arts, in music, or in other conditions of material life. They are bereft of all understanding of material enjoyment and renunciation. Their only desire is to see Krishna return and enjoy spiritual transcendental pastimes with them. The gopis want him simply to stay in Vrindavan so that they can render service unto him for his pleasure. There is not even a tinge of personal sense gratification.
So this is written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is actually guru of Srila Prabhupada. So he is very great acharya. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's writings are so much glorified. Even viceroys in British times would come and associate with him to meet him. In fact, one time he arranged a program for many British officers in the Gaudiya Math temple. He had put chairs for them in the temple hall. Generally, chairs are never put for anybody to sit because those guys cannot sit in a Padmasana format. He gave them all chairs in the temple hall and when he would speak a lecture, they will need English dictionary to refer. Even British people needed help of dictionary when he would speak. He was one of the most greatest scholars of his times. It is said that the post office people, gave a complaint, to the the leaders at that time, what was the complaint? Bhaktivinoda Thakur would get one bullock cart full of letters every day. Can you imagine? Whole bullock cart will be flooded. From the post office, it will be brought in one bullock cart to his mata. So many letters from across the globe will come to him. So he was the first Acharya who made all the dioramas of Krishna's pastimes, Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, and displayed it in Calcutta, and that became extremely popular. Highly fine-tuned, nice dioramas. He was a very great, vigorous preacher. He's a revolutionary Acharya. In the temple hall of Gaudiya Math, in the rear end, he put a big printing press in front of the deities. He said, deities, people come for taking darshan, let them know this is a printing press. We print books and we sell the books to all the visitors. So there are many, many miraculous things he did. So such a highly intellectually astute, and he had some of the sannyasis across the globe. He also had many foreign disciples. Actually, he was trying to send disciples to Germany, America, London to preach and expand preaching all over the world. At that time, one of our disciples went to London and came. They couldn't do much. But our Prabhupada also is one of his disciples who fulfilled his desire eventually, like that. But even at that time, even now today, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's foreign disciples are also there in Gaudiya Math. You will see that. So, which means he is a very vigorous preacher and very pure soul, and he is giving a perfect understanding of how we should see the gopis' devotion for Krishna. So 6 points were over. 7th point will continue now. Go ahead.
Shukdev Goswami uses two specific words, Bhaktim and Param. Bhaktim Param means execution of devotional service above the neophyte stage. Those who are simply attracted to temple worship but do not know the philosophy of bhakti are in the neophyte stage. That sort of bhakti is not the perfectional stage. The perfectional stage of bhakti or devotional service is completely free from material contamination. The most dangerous aspect of contamination is lust or sex life. Bhakti Param devotional service is so potent that the more one advances in this line, the more he loses his attraction for material life. One who is actually deriving benefit from hearing the Ras Leela dance surely achieves the transcendental position. He surely loses all traces of lust in his heart.
This is based on one shloka. Vikriditam brajabadu viridam cha vishnoho shraddhanvita anushunya tatavarnayedya bhaktim param bhagavati pradilabhya kamam hridrogama shapahinoti achirena dhiraha. That's the verse. It's in the 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. What it says, Vikriditam means playful pastimes of Krishna with the gopis in the rasa dance dancing. That shloka will come later. I'll show you that. Vikriditam Vrajabadubir idam cha Vishnu, he's saying. He doesn't say Krishna. Why? Because if he says Krishna, you will think he's a simple boy who is dancing with some girls, you may think. So he says Vishnu. The word is used by Shukdev Goswami. Vikriditam Vrajabadubir idam cha Vishnu Shraddhanvita. One who Shraddhanvita Anushruniyat. One who hears these pastimes with great Shraddha, faith, transcendental faith. Ata Varnayetya, those who describe this with great transcendental faith. What happens to them? He says, Bhaktim Param Bhagavati. One awakens bhakti for Lord Krishna by hearing these pastimes. Pratilabhya Kamam Ashu Apahinoti, is saying. And the lust in the heart is driven out by hearing these pastimes. And then Achirena Dhiraha, he says. Very quickly, a person becomes sober. See, when you watch a movie where some hero, heroine are behaving loosely, casually, you become more agitated in mind and you behave like a lumpet when you come out of the movie. You also try to do the same thing with some other girls. Whereas after hearing the gopis pastimes with Krishna, there are people, kings have given up, when the kings became 50, 60, they gave up their kingdom to their sons and went to forest and became great mendicants. And they became vanaprasthas and they went back to Godhead, great kings. After hearing these pastimes of the Lord. In fact, Shukdev Goswami also, I told you, how he was a very great mendicant. Is it not true? So you will find many of the, like even sadhus, all the sadhus who are glorifying, like Shankaracharya and others, I said, when they hear these pastimes, their vairagya increases. Amazing, no? Isn't it? Because in this world, when you hear man-woman story, your senses become agitated. Whereas hearing about the gopis' devotion to Krishna, that actually increases the one's vairagya. So I will tell you one or two pastimes. You will appreciate it. In Vrindavan, Prabhupada says the gopis are on an equal level with Krishna. Equal level means, just as Sridhama, Sudama, Madhumangal are friends of Krishna, the gopis are also friends of Krishna. But right from the time when Krishna was a very small boy, and they were also growing with Krishna. So when Krishna became 8, some of them are 6, some of them are 7, some of them are 9, like that. So just as the covered boys are thick friends of Krishna, the gopis are also great friends of Krishna. One time it so happened, Krishna went and asked the gopis, "Hey gopis, you are all wearing very beautiful pearl necklaces. Can you give me one of your necklace?" And the gopis would ask, "Why do you want? What will you do with our necklace?" He said, "I am planning to sew the necklace behind my Nanda Bhavan palace." They said, "Sew it on the ground. What will you do with that?" They asked. "And then I will water it so that when it grows, there will be a pearl tree. And I can make a lot of thousands of pearls. And with those pearls, I am going to multiply one pearl garland into hundreds of garlands." He said, gopis laughed like anything. They said, "What a foolish idea." And they joked with each other. "Have you ever seen, you sow the pearl in the ground and you get a pearl tree? See how ridiculous talk he is doing." So they said, "We cannot waste our pearl. Our mothers will ask us, where is our pearl necklace? We cannot give it," they said. Then Krishna went and asked from Mother Yashoda. "Ma Yashoda, can you please give me? I am going to do this." Mother Yashoda also laughed. But she didn't want to deny. She just took out a necklace and gave, "Okay, can I take this pearl necklace? No, never mind. Do what you wish." So Krishna went and put it in the garden under the ground. He removed the pearls and put it under the ground and he buried in the ground. Then again he went to gopis. He asked, "Gopis, you didn't give me the pearl necklace. At least can you give me milk?" He asked. "What for?" "Because you see, if we pour milk, then the pearl necklace which would come would be very colorful necklaces would come. Colorful pearls will come. We can have attractive things. Therefore, I don't want to put water. I want to put milk," he said. They again laughed. Have you ever seen anybody in this world give milk to pearl? So they all had a great laughter. They said, "We cannot give you even half a glass of milk for this purpose. We are going to waste it by pouring it in the ground," they said. Then Krishna went back and asked his mother for milk. The morning he gave milk, afternoon he gave dahi, night he put ghee in the ground. So you all may laugh at it, isn't it? Why Krishna was a small boy, he was doing such a thing. See, when Krishna being God, kartum akartum sarvata akartum, it is said. He can do what you and I can do. He can do what you and I cannot do. He can do something completely out of the box. He may do things which you cannot even imagine. And how do you know? Is it all not a figment of some good story or something? No. In front of our eyes, we have enough miracle that he has done. Look at the world around you. Therefore, I told you once before in my class, I told you, go to the Google search and put cosmic eye. If you put cosmic eye and go to the microscopic level, go to the macroscopic level, what all he has done and kept in this world, you can see. He can play with nature. He can show a rainbow in the sky colorfully. He can put the sun, he can put the moon, he can, make millions of planets revolve. He can do miracles. And he can keep such a vast body of ocean in front of which people can sit in the sea beach without any fear of the water coming and overwhelming them. Even the very tsunami was not arranged by God for us. The tsunami, scientists say that it is due to the environmental disorder created by our entropy rise. Many of them say, even that, what do you call that? In the ocean, this thing was created, like tide, not tide, what do you call that? Not tornado. Tornado is also this only. In the ocean, that thing was created because of environmental disorder, due to which the tsunami water was thrown out of the ocean. Otherwise, the ocean will never swell beyond its brink. That is Krishna's creation, amazing creation. So he has done many miraculous things here. So when he poured milk in the morning, dahi in the afternoon, ghee in the night, guess what happened? The plants started coming out. Necklace plant, the pearl tree started coming. And Krishna called all his friends and said, hey, just see, there is yellow color, orange color, blue color, green color, all different pink color, all big. The pearls came, very huge size. See, boys play this one. What do you call this one? Marble, this thing. In the small and big ones are also there. You've seen that? So big ones. They're all colorful ones. They came. And now he told all the boys, hey, come on, all of you pluck it. They all plucked and took out. And they made holes in that. And they made garlands. Now the gopis went to Yamuna side. And they were surprised to see monkeys were wearing pearl garlands. Cows were wearing pearl garlands. And those garlands were all like translucent. They were shining. Imagine, pink color, green color, orange color, blue color, yellow color. All of them like balls, all transparent balls. And all shining light. And the gopis were looking at each other and said, hey, even we don't have necklaces like this. Where are these necklaces coming from? How are these Vrindavan creatures wearing all this? Then even Radharani was very fascinated. So Radharani and gopis went to Krishna. And Radharani was hiding behind a tree and told her friends, hey, ask Kanai, how did he make this? Find out. Then their gopis all went and asked it. Krishna said, oh, I asked you, gopis, you didn't give me the pearl necklace. Say, I took it from my mother. I made it like this. Then the gopis said, okay, we also know the technique now. We have learned it. Basically, you have to put the pearl underground and then pour milk and dahi, and that's all it is going to come. So they went and they took off the necklaces and they put it in the ground. Sure enough, they poured milk and buttermilk and all that. Nothing came out. So now the gopis are all talking to each other. Hey, we have to dig the ground and take out, otherwise mothers will ask, where is your necklace? Isn't it? Already mothers started asking, how are you gopis losing your necklace? Where did you give it to? Whom did you give it to? They were asking. They were digging the ground and they couldn't find the pearls. One was here, one was there. They're very worried. Then the gopis told Radharani, it's not a big deal. Let's go to Kana and ask. He's giving to monkeys. He's giving to cows and calves. Will he not give us? He's our dear friend. So they all went. Radharani was a little afraid to go in the front. So she was sitting behind a tree, just watching what Krishna is doing. And gopis went and asked Krishna. Krishna said, you gopis, you want pearl necklaces from me now. When I asked you for one necklace, you didn't give me. When I asked for milk and dahi to pour, you laughed at me. Now we will laugh at you. And he told all the coward boys, ha, 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 ha. Everybody laughed and gopis ran away. Radharani also ran away with them. And then Krishna told all his coward friends, I just joked with them. He said, bring the bullock carts. He said, we brought the bullock carts. So Krishna made the best of the pearl necklaces, the biggest of these things. And then we put it in one box. And each box outside, he wrote a name. Sri Radha, he wrote Dalita, then he wrote Vishaka. And all these boxes were stacked in the bullock carts. And the bullock cart was sent to the place where gopis were there. And the gopis were all ashamed, actually, that, we teased Krishna and joked. Now you see, they have laughed and driven us away. Now we have no face to ask for anything from him. Nor can we get our old necklace back. At the time when the bullock cart reached, they were wondering, what is that? Then they saw the boxes are all released one by one. Everybody was saying, oh, Radha, this is for you. Oh, Lalita, this is for you. Vishaka, for you. Tungavidya, Nangadevi, Sudevi. Everybody was taking their ones and the opening and saying, wow, this is very nice. They started wearing it. And Krishna and coward boys were watching from behind. They were very happy. Now they have accepted the gift without, bringing their ego problem or something. So this is coming from this is explained very beautifully in a book called as Mukta Charita by Raghunath Das Goswami. It's one pastime of Krishna and the gopis. The spiritual world is filled with pure devotees like this. Their pastimes are all very marvelous. You may ask, how the gopis seem to be not giving Krishna necklace. Is it obedience or not and all that? But actually in Leela, all these things are possible. In the performance of Leela, such things are possible. There is not even a tinge of last one day in the there is one place called Radha Sarovar. In that place, Radha and Krishna were sitting on the jeweled bank of that Radha Sarovar, and surrounding them were all the other Sakis, Lalita, Vishaka, all the gopis were sitting. So the gopis were telling, One gopi was selling, Lalita was selling to other gopis. It's a serene place. Even today, you go to Vrindavan, such a beautiful Radha Sarovar it is, surrounded by all trees all around. All around. There are a lot of monkeys in that area also. There are steps leading to the pond, in the middle. You can sit there peacefully, chant. A very nice place it is. So when Krishna was sitting, and that time one gopi was selling, when Lord Raghunath, Raghunath means Lord Ramachandra, when he would take the bow and arrow, and he would take the arrow in the hand and he would twang the bow, all the enemies would tremble. Ravana and his party, everybody would tremble. He had such a ability to create terror in the hearts of the enemies, like that she was telling. When Krishna heard it, he said, "Hey, gopis, Rama may create terror in the hearts of in the enemies, but when I play on my flute, see all the leaves in the tree, they flutter, like this. See the stones melt, and the Yamuna, forcefully going Yamuna stops, and the trees, leaves, they flutter. And in this way, the wind which is flowing fast becomes very mandahava, it comes. You see, I can also do these miracles," he said. Then she said, "You may do all these things, but you cannot do one thing which Lord Rama did." You know what he did? She said, he made a Setu Bandha to go from India to Lanka through his monkeys. He did amazingly. And that's considered a very great miracle because the floating stones were put on water and so many monkeys walked through that to Lanka without the whole bridge getting drowned. That amazing thing you cannot do, they said. You are simply a coward boy, they said. Krishna said, "Who said? I can't do it. I can do it and show you if you wish." He said, "Yes." Then he told all the gopis, "Go and fetch me stones. All of you go around, get stones, and then I'll make a bridge like that and show you." They said, "Are we monkeys that we'll bring stones for you?" They said, "There are so many monkeys around. If you really have the power, you get their help and do the needful." So then Krishna told all the monkeys, "Hey, monkeys, get me stones." Then they actually got it. All the monkeys started picking thorns and putting near Krishna's feet. And Krishna said, "See, Rama made Setu Bandha with monkeys, but I will make it myself without the monkey's help." He was sitting with them and he was throwing stone like that. It will go and exactly land on water. Like that he would throw, land on another one on water. So he would throw 1, 2, 3, 4, like that he would do. And he made the entire bridge from this side of the pond to that side of the pond. And he told them, "Just see." And they were all amazed. Hey, this fellow has made it. So are you satisfied now that I can do what Lord Rama did? Again, Vishaka said, "You see, you have made a bridge, but it's good for nothing bridge," they said, because the moment you put your feet, the book will go inside. Krishna said, "Go, try if you want." They said, "No, we will not try. We know for sure it will drown. If you want, you try," they said. And Krishna said, "Really? I will show you now." So Krishna walked from this side of the pond to that side of the pond, playing on his flute. And then he again came back from that side to this side of the pond. When he was returning back, he thought they all will appreciate. But they were having a big laughter, clapping hands. And he was wondering, "Why are you laughing? You don't agree that I have made it?" They said, "Hey, you are a great trickster. You have put some black magic, I think, by which you have twisted our eyesight, by which we are thinking that you are walking on it. I think you are doing some magic. We can't trust you," they said. Krishna said, "My Lord, what else I have to do now to prove that I can do it?" And there was a big laughter in that Radha Sarovar area. It's called Krishna Sarovar also. So now this appears like sometimes the college boys and college girls are sitting and laughing and chatting and having a fun time in this world. That is actually a perverted reflection of this pastime which I told you now. In the spiritual world, who are these gopis that I told you yesterday? Great rishis and munis and siddhas, siddha purushas, mukta purushas, and all these people ultimately become Krishna's devotees in different rasas, in dasyaras, sakyaras, vachalaras, madhuryaras, and everything. And the topmost of them become Madhurya Rasa Bhaktas. And they attain their Swarupa in the spiritual world in these female forms. And why the female forms? Why not in the male forms? Because the feminine form is very suitable for nurturing, nourishing, and seva. You will see that. For example, all of you can look at your mother. She has a natural propensity to serve. the husband, serve the children, serve the family members. She has a tendency to run around and do seva. You will see that. Like my mother also, in summer vacation time, when we would play in the evening and come back home, she would tell us, see, I have made some nice items like chikli, they used to call it. Chikli means crispy one, that eat, huh? You know that? That kind of items. Huh? Round one and groundnut also, with groundnut also, another they make with this kind of, they make like that, many items. There are some names you may not know, so I'm not spelling out. Adirasam, they call it. Appam, they call it. Huh? And vada, medu vada, many items she would make. They would keep in a big stainless steel jar. When I would come back after playing, she would say, Beta, see there, what is there in that? Many items I have made and kept it. You open and see, she would say. When it open and see, I'll tell her, don't worry, we will take care. We'll finish it. I would go and bring all my 20 friends and we'll sit in a big circle and take out and finish it up. So I am telling, the women have a very natural propensity to serve. Once Prabhupada was going in a flight, one lady, air hostess, she asked the Prabhupada, Swamiji, veg or non-veg, what will you take? Prabhupada said, nothing. He said, my assistant has brought me prasad. I will take prasad. He said, so, okay, she went ahead. Okay, it's all right. She went ahead. Then after serving everybody, she again came back and asked her, Swamiji, would you like to take some papaya fruit? She asked. Prabhupada said, okay, bring it. So then she went back and neatly cut the papaya fruit and brought in a plate. Came and gave it to Prabhupada. When she went, Prabhupada told the assistant devotee, just see, the service propensity is innately there in them. I didn't even say I want anything, but on her own, she wants to cut and give. That propensity is there, Prabhupada said. So the women are fond of raising children. The women are fond of cooking. The women are fond of household chores. Now you may say, well, what about the modern women? They are not so inclined. That's because, they are trying to make unisex between man and woman, unisex saloon, unisex and everything. That's another big subject. But the Prabhupada quotes the Vedic literature that when a woman wears a sari and when a woman follows her feminine nature, she is most attractive for everybody. In a home, a woman is a person who can make everybody happy according to Shastra. She can be like a Griha Lakshmi. Griha Lakshmi means she makes the father-in-law happy, mother-in-law happy, husband happy, children happy, every member of the home happy. And if she is not a proper woman, she can make the whole house miserable completely, because both type of women are there. One is like Griha Lakshmi, and one is Bhadrakali. Both types of women are there. So therefore, those Dandakaranya rishis also, although they were rishis, they can meditate on Krishna, they can describe the glories of Krishna, but they wanted to become, they wanted to talk about a female form, like the gopis they became, and they served the Lord by various ways in that way. So one more further point we'll see and then we'll discuss. Go ahead.
Krishna enjoys with his own Shaktis, unlike the imitation Purusha, Jiva, trying to enjoy Krishna's Shakti. It's like a passerby barging into a sweet shop, picking up and eating a chocolate and walking off without paying. He'll be fine. On the other hand, when owner takes a chocolate and eats, he cannot be fine. Everything belongs to him.
Yeah. See, ultimately, Krishna is the mother, he is the father, he is the relative, he is the friend, he is be all and end all for all the jivas. There is nothing beyond Krishna for the jivas. So we all being Krishna's parts and parcels. In the Bhagavatam, the example is given. If a child is lying on a floor, which is like a mirror, and the child is seeing its own reflection, and then playing with the reflection by beating the hand, like that Krishna danced with the gopis. That it is said, because jivas are all reflection of Krishna, tiny reflection of Krishna. Just like the sun has its sun's rays, like that the jivas are like the sun's ray particles, and Krishna is like the sun. Or we can say Krishna is like the moon, and the jivas are like stars, moon and the stars. So Krishna is the central figurehead, and all the jivas are around him. And the jivas have a very natural propensity to align with him, love him, serve him in various rasas. For example, you can see your own father at home. For example, a father, and then there is mother, and then there are children. Say in a home, sometimes there are, in India, some homes, there are even 7 or 8 children also in some homes. You will see that. One man in here also told me that he has 4 daughters and 4 sons. Sometimes a big family it is, sometimes. So when a man comes home, he always thinks how to make my family members happy. Like my father used to bring a big jar of, mixed fruit mixture, liquid, like a juice type of thing. So what do you think a father would do? Do you think he'll come home and just put it in a big glass and drink it himself? He gives it to his wife, gives it to children. Everybody shares with everybody. Finally, everybody tells him, you also take. Then he also takes. Similarly, Krishna has Parama Ananda, but he distributes that Ananda to his Shaktis. The bigger Shakti, Radharani, and the smaller Shaktis like all of us. We are also Shaktis. We are Tadasa Shakti. He shares that happiness. In the spiritual world, there are many Leelas going on like this. There is a beautiful song. I'll tell you a part of the song. This is another pastime. Vishamakara Kannan Vedikayai Patapadi Vidamida Mayata Made Nade Kore Lilai Sayam Nanda Gopala Krishnan Vishamakara Kannan Vishamakara Kannan. See what the song says? Vishamakara Kannan means mischievous Krishna. That's the meaning of Vishamakara Kannan. Why is he called as mischievous? He will say, Vedikayai Patapadi means he sings very song. When he's a small boy, he sings songs and he dances also. And within every muhurta, every 20 minutes, he will perform one new Leela, he says, either with covered boys or with covered girls or with mother. Or somebody has to play pranks which charms the heart of all the Vijayapasis, like that he's saying. And then he's saying, Pakatu vittu pennai azhaipan, Murari ragam pada cholli vambu keluppan. What he's saying, he'll go to the Gopi in the next house and say, hey Gopi, can you please sing me Murari Rag? Murari Rag is one of the ragas in Carnatic music. And the Gopi will say, no, I don't know that raga. I know many other ragas, but Murari Raga, I don't know, she will say. Then he will twist her ears. Like that he will twist. Like that she will say, this is how Murari Raga looks. Like that he will say. Like that he is saying. So in this way, this is kind of mischief he does. Another day, when there was one lady selling this, what do you call this? Jamun, jamun, kala jamun, big one. She was selling kala jamun. What do you call that fruit? Jamun fruit. Jamun, they all know, I think, yeah. So she was selling big jamun fruit. She was calling out, street hawker, one lady was selling. As soon as Krishna was a small boy. He was like 8-year-old boy. 7-year-old or 8-year-old boy. He came out of the house. He saw, oh, jamun is something I like very much. He thought, I have to give her something in return for taking the jamun. What he did, he saw on this side Gopi, one Gopi was drawing a rangoli outside the house, very attentively putting rangoli. And Krishna came and caught hold of her hand and took off one of the bangles from her hand and ran to his house and called the jamun lady and gave it to her and then took both palmfuls of jamun and went inside the house to eat jamun, that's all. But this Gopi was standing up, like she was stunned. How dare this fellow come, just as if it is his own bangle, is coming and taking away the bangle and going. So this Gopi later on met other Gopis in Yamuna. She told, hey, today morning, you know what happened? No, I am putting rangoli here. I don't even know that this fellow is around. And he's coming out and he's snatching my bangle and giving it to Jamun lady. And buying jamun and going away, scot-free. He didn't have the courtesy to ask me to take it. So when other gopis heard, they had a big laughter. One gopi argued, how dare he took your bangle without telling you? Another gopi said, at least he should have told a thank you to you at least. She said. Another gopi said, I wish he took it from my hand. He never took it from my hand, she said. In this way, they were all talking different things and having a big laughter. So in this way, he does many different pastimes in Vrindavan. Just like, for example, with Mother Yashoda, with Mother Yashoda, he is playing the childhood pranks, isn't it? Stealing butter at home, running away from her and getting bound by her. That's a child play, isn't it? And with covered boys, he's playing friendship like an equal friend with them. Similarly, in the case of the gopis, these are Braja gopis are actually the topmost, purest of the devotees with whom the relationship is one of lover and the beloved. And eternally in the spiritual world also, Krishna and the gopis, Krishna appears to your mother Yashoda like a small boy. With the gopis, he appears like 11 or 12 years old. Radha and Krishna are like a Kaishora, we say. Kaishora is 10 to 14, in that age group. And in this attraction or romance, which we say, is the most attractive. Even in this world, people are very attracted. All of you, when you're boys, when you're growing above 10 or 11 or 12, at that time, sometimes the fascination you may develop for a boy for a girl and girl for a boy, it is inexplicable at that age. Afterwards, you get married and have 4 children, everything, you come to ground level after that. But at that particular age, it is a perverted reflection of the romance in the spiritual world. So, but one big difference between that and this is, that is like gold and this is like iron. There is not even a tinge of lust in that. Because one should know that I will show you one verse. You can see, which is very important in this context here. In the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a verse which talks about that. I'll just show you. Yat sankulam haripadanati matra drishtair vaiduryamarakata he mamayair vimanaihi yesham brihat katitata smitashobhimukyah krishnatmanam naraja adadurutsmayadhyaihi. Can I make it bigger? Little bigger? I'll make it a little more bigger font, I think. Just a minute. See, this is 3.15.20. If you see this verse, here it says, the inhabitants of Vaikuntha travel in their airplanes made of lapis lazuli, emerald and gold, although crowded by their consorts who have large hips and beautiful smiling faces. They cannot be stimulated to passion by their mirth and beautiful charms. He says in Vaikuntha planets, and there are husbands and wives also there. Husbands are looking like bluish form, like Vishnu type of forms husbands have. They're Vishnu Dutas. And the wives, their wives are here explained as consorts. They have large hips and beautiful smiling faces and long flowing hair, and their teeth are like a string of kundu buds, and all that is described here. So the Bhagavatam describes the women are like lightning, men are like clouds. Like if you see in the sky, lightning and cloud appears together, like that. Like that, the wives are compared to lightning, like a streak of lightning. They look very charming and very attractive with their feminine opulences of, like lotus petal, like eyes and large hips and smiling faces. So even in this world, everybody knows when a boy is a young boy, when he sees a very good-looking girl with her sharp eyes, tirchi nazar, you get attacked by it, isn't it? Or if she's smiling very beautifully, or she's very, very, what do you call it, shy, then she looks very attractive. But they are all attractive like that. But the most important point is what? The husbands are not still attracted to them. That's the point. You will see here below. You can read this one. You can read this for you. It is also stated here. You read this.
It is also stated that in the Vaikuntha world, the consorts of the residents are many, many times more beautiful than we can find in this material world. Even in the higher planets, it is specifically mentioned here that a woman's large hips are very attractive and they stimulate man's passion. But the wonderful feature of Vaikuntha is that although the women have large hips and beautiful faces and are decorated with ornaments of emeralds and jewels, the men are so absorbed in Krishna consciousness that the beautiful bodies of a woman cannot attract them. In other words, there is enjoyment in the association of opposite sex, but there is no sexual relationship. The residents of Vaikuntha have a better standard of pleasure, so there is no need of sex pleasure.
See, he mentions here. And if you go to Krishna book again, there also Prabhupada mentions. And in the spiritual world, there are, in the rasa dance, for example, you see activities like embracing or kissing, but there is no activity like the sex pleasure for reproduction in the spiritual world. He says, why? In this world, Brahma has kept liquid orgasm, as we call it, the semen in the man's genitals. And when man and woman unite, the semen is transported from man's body to the woman's womb. And that is actually kept for procreation purpose. So sex life is what? Sex life is actually an action for reproduction purpose. It is kept. Actually, in the spiritual world, is there reproduction? There's no reproduction. The jivas who went from spiritual world to material world, that place is vacant. When they come back, they occupy the place. That's all. There is no man-woman union to produce children in the spiritual world. And also the Bhagavatam it is mentioned why the pleasure coating is kept in the genitals. Otherwise, man-woman will never want to beget a child at all in this world. And samsara nahi chalega. Therefore, for protection purpose, Brahmaji has designed it. Otherwise, in the spiritual world, the whole body has pleasure feeling. It's not only in one localized portion you have pleasure feeling. Because in spiritual world, more pleasure is derived simply by seeing Krishna from a distance, seeing Krishna smile, seeing Krishna do activity, dance, sing, and interact. These things are more pleasurable. Whereas in material world, foolish people think that the sex is the highest type of pleasure, which is available even for the pigs and dogs and hogs and mosquitoes and all creatures. Because they don't know anything better than this standard. But spiritual world, such a pleasure doesn't exist at all, he says here. You can see that. So that point is clarified. Now we proceed ahead further. Read this one.
9th, lust and love are like iron and gold. Due to our lusty nature, we tend to superimpose it on Krishna. The physical urges of the body and emotional urges of the mind are both material, and thus sex is biological and is kept for reproduction purpose. Love of Krishna and gopis is spiritual and transcendental. This can be understood from Gopi Gitam.
Yeah. So if you read the Gopi Gitam, when Krishna left the assembly of the gopis, what after Rasada and gopis were missing Krishna, what they sang, if you see, I will sing a few lines. You can see what they are singing. They are saying, Jayati te dikam jalmana braja sayata indira shashvadatrahi Nayita drishyata Dikshutavaka Vayegrita savas Kamvichimvate. See, how holy is their prayer, you will see. They're saying that, oh, my dear Krishna, you appeared in Vrindavan, and due to your appearing in Vrindavan, the whole Vrindavan has become pavan, holy and pure. Not only that, in Vaikuntha, you always wear the chappal, sandals. You will never be without sandals. Whereas when you come to the Bhumi of Vrindavan, Brajabhumi, you mercifully don't wear the sandals. And you walk with barefoot in Vrindavan. And in Krishna's lotus feet, there are 16 chinhas, like thunderbolt. A thunderbolt symbol is for what? To destroy the mountain of sins of his devotees and make it chur. That also gopis are singing. Pranata dehinam papakarshanam trinacharanugam sriniketanam Pani panapitam te padambujam kranakucheshunaha krudihratchayam. Here they are saying that Pranata Dehina Papa Karshanam. Anybody who takes shelter of your lotus feet, the thunderbolt symbol in your feet destroys the mountain of sinful reactions into powder, they are saying. And then they are saying those lotus feet are following Trinachara Anugam. Trina means grass. Chara means the one who eats grass. Who is that? Cow. Anugam means one who follows the cows. Who is that? No, Krishna. Yeah, Trinachara Anugam, they are saying. Sriniketanam. Actually, you are husband of Lakshmi, goddess of Arjun, but you follow the cows to the forest. That is your simplicity. Your lotus feet are so beautiful. You walk behind the cows, they are saying. In this way, the Fani Fanarthi Pritam, not only that, you are dancing on the hoods of Kaliya and delivering him from sin. We are not telling stories. It's a reality. We have seen with our eyes how you delivered Kaliya and removed his sinful reactions. Similarly, anybody who becomes a devotee, all the sinful reactions will be eradicated. Like that they are singing. So every one of the paragraphs are like this in Gopi Gitam. So your birth in Vrindavan is so glorious that whole Vrindavan land has become pavan. And because of you coming here, Shrayata Indira Shashwata, Lakshmi ji has come to live permanently here, they are saying, in Vrindavan. So Samriddhi of Vrindavan has increased. And then they are singing, Tava Katamritam Tapta Tava Katamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Viriditam Kalmashapadam Savada Mangalam Srimadattatam Bhuvi Grinati Bhuridajana. What they are saying? Tava Katha Amritam. Your Kathas are Amritam, they are saying. Your Leelas and pastimes are always nectarian. Tapta Jivanam. In this world, the Jiva's hearts are like a desert, and your Kathas are like a Amrit Varsha, they are saying, like a downpour of Amritam. And Kavi Biriditam, great devotees of you, they relish this Leelas. And Kalmasha Apaham, it destroys all the evil propensities like lust, anger, greed, which are Kalmash in our heart. They destroy it. Shravana Mangalam. By hearing that, our Mangal, our auspiciousness increases. Srimad Atatam, and it brings supreme auspiciousness and good in the life of a devotee. Bhuvi Grinantiye Bhuridajana, many great devotees of you who are called Bhurida, means most magnanimous devotees. They take these pastimes to nook and corner of the world. They propagate it and give the opportunity to the jivas whose hearts are like deserts. They pour down this Amritamaya Katha and then they wake up the sleeping souls and take them back to Godhead. So like that gopis are singing. So the gopis' prayers are not, ordinary. It's very purely presented. So many people don't know this. Most of the foolish people in India or abroad, when they hear about Krishna and gopis rasa dance, they don't know anything other than the mundane attachment between man and woman in the form of sex life. They superimpose it on gopis and Krishna foolishly. So that is due to their own eyes with cataract. If you have cataract, you see everything two. That is your eye problem. Problem not with Krishna or the gopis. Read it.
10th, we have to get rid of the eyes of avidya anjan, eyes of ignorance, and get eyes of premanjan, eyes tinged with the salve of love. By not imitating Krishna, struggling to become an enjoyer, but by following his teachings in the shape of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam faithfully. Then whenever Guru and Krishna are pleased with our devotional service, we will get the eyes and heart to understand this pastime.
Here in the picture you are seeing on the left side, Haridas Thakur sitting and chanting. He's a pure Krishna devotee and he knows Krishna Tattva thoroughly. Therefore, a beautiful prostitute is coming on the order of Ramchandra Khan to assassinate the character of, Haridas Thakur. But you can see Haridas Thakur was not at all disturbed. He was very cool, continuing chanting. He told her, Madam, I have to complete a fixed number of rounds. Unless I complete my Naam Jap, I don't attend to anything else. If you wish, you may sit and you may also hear the holy name. But I have to chant my rounds. They started chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And he was fully with Krishna. And whole night passed away. The next day, early morning, sun rose and she thought, oh, now sun has risen. I can't deal with him anymore. He told her, okay, if you are very keen, you come tonight. And but I have taken a vow for the whole month. I have to complete 10 million names, like that he said. So she went. Second day she came. Third day she came. Third day she became influenced by his chanting. She also started chanting, repeating when she was hearing. It became so absorbing. So he spiritually attacked her. When she was materially attacking him, he attacked her spiritually. And who won ultimately? Haridas Thakur won. She became a devotee. She loudly cried and said, Ramchandra Khan has sent me to pollute you. And later on he can talk ill of you. That's why he has done that. I am sorry. And then Haridas Thakur said, I know very well. Therefore, I will not live in this place even for a moment. I am going away. And she said, you are like my guru. You have awakened my Krishna consciousness. Please give me some instruction. He told her that you give away all your wealth you have to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas and become a Vairagini. You develop Vairagya, and then you take the bead bag. You have a plant a Tulasi here and sit in front of Tulasi and chant Hare Krishna continuously, and your life will be perfect. So that place is there even today in Benapole. I had gone to Bangladesh. I saw the place. And that lady, after Haridas Thakur went in the whole village, and the whole village saw that she is chanting exactly 3 lakh names every day. Haridas Thakur was chanting 3 lakh names, and she started chanting 3 lakh names, which means 192 rounds. We are chanting 16 rounds. After 16 rounds, people are collapsed. And she is chanting 192 rounds. She became a great sadhvi. Not just sadhvi, she became a guru of the whole village. The Benapole accepted her as an acharya after that. Simply by Haridas Thakur's 3 days of chanting, she heard pure devotees chanting. If you hear, you become so pure. So far from falling down to her and becoming a debachi, Haridas Thakur delivered her, made a prostitute into a great pure devotee. We can see, therefore, such devotees are glorifying Radha Krishna pastimes, which are not ordinary. So, because Haridas Thakur has Premanjan, eyes of tinged with salve of love, and that type of Anjan we have to develop. See, these are 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan who always would come together and sit together and discuss the Shastras. They were deeply learned in Shastra. They were all also pure devotees. They have written an abundant glorification of Gopis of Vrindavan from various sections of the scriptures and presented very nicely, scientifically. So, the unconditional love of the Gopis of Vrindavan, already I told you the pastime of the Tilak pastime, correct? No? Sorry, the Krishna getting headache pastime. Correct? I told, no? Yeah, that was the one. So, yeah, the Gopis of Vrindavan are the topmost devotees. There are many, many pastimes. Yeah, this is the pastime of Krishna playing on the flute. Here you see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experienced it. Read this, yeah.
Experiencing separation from Sri Krishna and longing to meet him is the ultimate perfection of a devotee's life.
Like you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is running behind a sand dune, calling it Hantaya Madrima Bala Maridasavaryo Yadrama Krishna Charana Sparsha Pramoda. He was running in the mood of considering it as Govardhan Parvat. It wasn't Govardhan, it was not Govardhan Parvat, it was a sand dune in Jagannath Puri. Mahaprabhu was running behind it, all Vaishnavas are running behind him, you can see. So he saw Krishna wherever he saw a mountain, he thought it is Govardhan. Wherever he saw a river, he thought it is Yamuna. Wherever he saw a garden, he thought it is Vrindavan. Yeah. Wherever he saw cows, he thought Krishna must be around. So he was so much absorbed in Krishna consciousness. You see, even at night when you would sleep, you would see the dance of Krishna and the gopis. Sometimes his room would be locked from outside. But Mahaprabhu, how he came out, God knows, because he is Krishna's incarnation. He would come out of the room somehow, and he would be found in the Simhadwaram in Jagannath Puri. He would have fallen fainted on the ground, and all the devotees would come with a hurricane lamp and find him out. So they were all very worried and afraid that Mahaprabhu should not get lost like this. He would be running here and there for Krishna with great affection. So, and why Mahaprabhu did it? Because he is Krishna adopting the mood of Srimati Radharani. Please read this.
Radha is the most benevolent, tender-hearted, feminine counterpart of Sri Krishna and non-different from him. She is so great that if anyone renders even a meager service to Lord Krishna, she considers that a person a greater devotee than herself, although no one can excel her in serving Krishna.
Yeah, amongst all these gopis I was telling you now, she is the queen, chief of all of them, whom even Krishna adores. Nobody can match her devotion to Krishna, which we'll explain in the subsequent slides. So even Krishna saw Radharani's pure affection for him. One day, Krishna was sitting in a park bench in the garden of Vrindavan. Radharani was sitting next to him. At that time, one bumblebee came and hovering on Radharani's feet. Radharani's feet appeared like a pair of lotuses. And as soon as Radharani saw, immediately she withdrew her legs and covered her legs. Then the bumblebee went to the face of Radharani and going round and round around her face. thinking of it to be a lotus. Then she became very afraid. So Krishna called the Madhumangal and said, "Hey, Madhumangal, drive this Madhumaki away," he said. So Madhumangal came and drove it away from there and said, "Hey, Madhu has gone away," he said. When Radharani heard it, he said, "What? Madhu has gone away." Madhu means for her, Madhusudan, Krishna. Immediately she burst into tears. And Krishna said, "Hey, Radhe, I'm here in front of you." And she was so much welling up with tears. Even in presence of Krishna, she thought of the prospect that Krishna may leave me. So at that time, Krishna said, "I really want to understand the heart of Srimati Radharani and her devotion for me. Therefore, I will appear in this world as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." He accepted the Radha's bhava. Krishna accepting Radha's bhava is called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So then Krishna is Sham Sundar, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Gaur Sundar, we call it. So he adopted Radharani's color externally and the bhakti bhava of Radharani. And then therefore he was running out to the sand dune or always weeping in tears in remembrance of Lord Krishna in the Rath Yatra function and everything. So Radharani is the topmost of the devotees. We will learn more about her here. Yeah. See here, Raganuga Bhakti is explained here. What is Raganuga Bhakti? Raganuga means, see, there is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti means initially you do Bhakti because Guru has told you to chant 16 rounds. You have to follow 4 regulative principles. Therefore you do. Scriptures are saying, so you follow it. Although we don't feel love for Krishna. But Raganuga stage is a stage when that love has become awakened. Now, you jump in the morning, you will want to go and take darshan of the Lord. You will want to do seva all day. One moment you will not waste. You will talk about Krishna. You will remember Krishna. You will render service to Krishna. And you are eager to connect people, everybody to come to Krishna's lotus feet. And other than Krishna's service, nothing else is of any attraction to us in this world. One loses attraction for the cinema. One loses attraction for the party. One loses attraction for meat eating, all these things. In this way, a stage comes when our love for Krishna becomes thick. That is Raganuga stage. Read the below one. Okay, both you can read. Both quickly you can read. Yeah.
Definitions of spontaneous devotion in practice. Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti is an advanced practice intended to cultivate the service mood of an eternally perfect resident of Vrindavan, Ragaatmika Bhakta. Prerequisite or eligibility for
spiritual world, such devotees are called Ragatmika. In the material world, such spontaneous devotees are called Raganuga. There they are called Ragatmika. Like Yashoda, Nanda, Radharani, they are called Ragatmika. When we develop a spontaneous love, it's called Raganuga. Why? Anuga means we become that follower. Yeah.
Prerequisite or eligibility for spontaneous devotion in practice. A very strong desire to serve Lord Krishna in a specific relationship. By hearing how eternal residents of Vrindavan spontaneously serve Krishna in various loving moods.
Yeah. So, lobh or greed develops in our heart. Oh, when will I meet Krishna face to face? When will I become his friend? Or when will I become associate of Yashoda or Nanda? Or when will I become an associate? When will I become a gopi? This kind of desire when it comes. Like here you see, these are the Yajnik Brahmana's wives who are serving Krishna, Balaram and covered boys prasadam. This is a special pastime in Vrindavan. While Yajnik Brahmanas were busy performing Yajna, they were not ready to give prasadam to Krishna, Balaram and covered boys. That you can ask your senior about the pastime. Whereas you find their wives are pure devotees. They are coming and serving prasad to all of them. So, this type of eligibility to opportunity to love and serve Krishna becomes thicker and thicker when Anartha Nivritti is finished. Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, and then comes Nishtha. Nishtha onwards, further stages like Asakti, Bhava, Prema. In those stages, this type of Raganuga develops. Like you see the steps here. Shraddha, right now, you had some Shraddha, therefore you became regular attendee for these classes. Then you get Sadhu Sangha, association of your mentor and senior devotees and everybody. Then Bhajana Kriya means you started chanting 16 rounds. Then Anartha Nivritti means you give up meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex. In this way, you gradually become more cleansed. And then when you are chanting 16 rounds and following 4 regs very strictly, you are becoming purer and purer. Then you come to Nishtha stage, means you're determined in devotion service. This very lifetime, I'll go back to Godhead. You are very determined. And I will not go to Maya. I will go to only Krishna. And then as you determinedly practice, Then you come to Ruchi. Taste starts coming. I want to hear more about Krishna. I want to take darshan of the deities. I want to chant more rounds on Ekadashi day. I want to become serious in spiritual life. I want to preach and propagate also. That is Ruchi. And then Asakti means attachment. Ruchi means taste. Asakti means attachment. A strong attachment to Krishna comes. That means, you cannot be separated from Krishna even for a moment. Like that. In that stage, one starts, first glimpse of Krishna comes in one's life. One will start seeing the form of Krishna, and Krishna would appear and disappear in Asakti stage. And there is no more propensity for sense gratification in Asakti stage. That is finished. Prior to Ruchi stage itself, it is finished. And then when you come to Bhava stage, waves of ecstasy arise in the heart of a devotee. Like, Evam Vratasva Priyanama Kirtya Jata Anurago Chitta Uchaihi Evam Hasitiroti Terauti Gayati Unmadavan Rittati Lokabhaya Premonmad arises. In that stage, he says that devotee, tears spring from his eyes and hair stands on end and body trembles in ecstasy. When he hears pastimes of Krishna, he will loudly laugh. Other people around me wonder, hey, why is this fellow laughing? Because the remembrance of certain pastime of Krishna comes. Like, a devotee will envision. Sometimes the pastimes manifest in his heart. He sees that Krishna goes to the backyard of a house with his covered boys and releases the calves for going and drinking milk from the cows. Seeing that the calves are released, the gopi becomes annoyed. She shouts at the husband, hey, look at this Kana, he has released the calves. All the calves are going and drinking milk. They will drink too much milk and they'll get sick. Go and see the man is running, and Gopi also runs to the backyard of the house. That time Krishna and the friends have entered into the house and they steal the butter, feed the monkeys, feed the friends, and Gopi comes back, he jumps out of the window and rushes away from there. So when a devotee hears his pastime, he laughs and laughs. And the tears are welling up in his eyes in ecstasy. Others cannot understand why is he laughing so much. And when he feels separation from Krishna, a devotee feels, crying. So these are the stages of Bhava stage. And in the Bhava stage and Prema stage, Krishna starts appearing. There are various things which will be explained later in the later camp. We will explain it. It's called Sausvarya means he hears the flute sound of Krishna. And Saukumarya means if one is a servant of Krishna, Krishna will touch his head. Or with his lotus feet, he will touch the head of a devotee. If one is servant, one is friend of Krishna, then Krishna will catch the hands of the devotee and embrace the devotee. If one is a parent of Krishna, then Krishna will wipe out the tears of Yashoda. Like that, he wipes the tears of the devotee. If one is an Madhurya Rasa, then Krishna will embrace the devotee. In this way, that is called Saukumarya. Tender touch of Krishna one feels. Then Saurabhya, at that time one feels Krishna's fragrance manifesting. The devotee feels that all my senses become like my nose and smell that fragrance of Krishna's body. Saurabhya, it is called. Then he shows the Saundarya. The beautiful form of Krishna is seen. The smiling, beautiful threefold bending form. First time devotee sees. And devotee goes into a swoon and falls unconscious. These are all advanced stages. The Bhava Prema stage. Where Krishna sends the Vishuddha Sattva. Like here you see, the devotee, pure devotee is singing, Krishna is present right in front of him, giving him darshan. So these are, here is Radha and Krishna, the great riddle for the intellectuals and Mayavadis, but the greatest shelter for the pure devotees. So this is the pastime I told you, from Mukta Charita, I told you the pearl necklace pastime. This is another pastime. Only we are running out of time. Maybe I can tell this, I think, one pastime. You see, one time in Vrindavan, many pastimes happen. One of the pastimes is there is a place called Man Mandir in Vrindavan. In that Man Mandir, see what is the meaning of Man? Man means anger. So sometimes Radharani would become angry. Why would she become angry with Krishna? That is also for a pastime. Sometimes, even in a family also, when husband and wife becomes angry and then afterwards she gives up anger, it is a great joy for everybody in the family, isn't it? Similarly, sometimes Radharani, one time Krishna told Srimati Radharani that I want to learn Sarigama Padanisa from you, because I don't sing in a proper raga. My voice is going tangentially somewhere. So can you please sing and show me? So Radharani took the harmonium, started singing. Sa 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 re 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 ga 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 ma 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 pa 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 da 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 ni 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 ni. Sa 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 ni 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 da 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 pa 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 ma 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 ga 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 re 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 sa 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 sa. Krishna said, wonderful. She said, what wonderful? You have to sing now. Huh? You wanted to learn, you learned to sing. And Krishna was making many mistakes. She said, so she would teach. Sa sa re re ga sa re re ga ga ma ma re re ga ga ma re ga ma pa pa ga ma pa ga ma pa pa da da ma pa pa da ma pa pa da ni ni pa pa da ni pa pa da ni ni sa sa. Krishna said, you keep singing, I'll keep hearing. Eh? Krishna pretended to try. She said, oh, you don't want to sing, you just want to, you have come to teach me, to hear me. So she would become angry. This is one example. But there are other reasons also why Radharani would become angry. Sometimes Krishna would, the Radha Damodar pastime, one of the pastimes, Krishna said, I will come at 5 o'clock, but he came at 7 o'clock. So Radharani and all the gopis would make a very beautiful kunja and they would decorate with flowers and everything. He would come late, so Radharani would go on man like that. So one day, it so happened that Radharani was assuming the mood of man, anger. At that time when Krishna came, Lalita and Vishaka said, today Radharani's anger is great. She will not even entertain talking to you. You go away, they said. Krishna said, really? They said, yes. She says she will not see anything blue. Lalita was wearing blue sari. When she looked at blue, she immediately turned her face away this side. Another gopi was wearing blue. She looked at the sky. Sky was also blue. She looked down. She would not even see blue because Krishna's body is blue. Oh, Krishna said, oh, really? Then what do I do? See, he went and asked Vrinda Devi. Vrinda Devi is the manager of the spiritual world. Vrinda Devi gave him a clue. So then Krishna went down that hill, Man Hill, and went to the opposite hill. In that hill, he climbed up. And there he decorated himself with lot of peacock feathers. Beautiful peacock feathers all over the body. And he started dancing. Actually, it was a rainy season. Clouds were also there in the sky. In the evening time, when Krishna was dancing like a peacock, suddenly one of the gopis saw that side and said, wow, such a big peacock is dancing so beautifully on that mountain. Hey, all of you see. Then all the gopis were looking that side. And Radharani was not seeing. And then some of the gopis said, Radharani, you see, Kana is dancing so beautifully. See that? Radharani was wondering, should I see or not? Everybody is appreciating, everybody is seeing. If I see, then Krishna will say that, hey, you are angry at me, now you are seeing. So with a great difficulty, she restrained herself. Finally, she saw. And she was also charmed. And Radharani and all the gopis went down, they went up. Then all the gopis decorated Radharani also like another peacock. And that's this picture you are seeing here. And then as they danced and danced and danced, these two peacocks are dancing, you see here. That's called More Kuti. In Vrindavan, Radharani forgot her anger. In this way, Krishna would dance and make her forget her anger. So now I told you many pastimes of Radha Krishna. There are many other pastimes also. There are innumerable pastimes mentioned in the scriptures. Due to lack of time, we may not be able to bring them all, but there is a lot of the fun in Vrindavan. There is a place called Dangati, where the cowherd boys and Krishna hide behind a tree and they hit with a catapult stone at the gopis when they are. Sankrikor is a place where they carry the buttermilk pots. So they hit and then the gopis say, hey, who is that hitting? When they turn behind, nobody will be seen because they hide behind a tree. Later on, the cowherd boys will come out and say that, see, this area is Nanda Baba's area. Anybody who has to cross this have to pay tax. They would ask, what is the tax? Tax is buttermilk. Already we have broken. We will drink. Don't worry. They would drink all of it. Next day, there is another place, Dangati, where the cowherd boys would be passing through that area. Thousands of gopis would come and tie up all these boys to a tree with their shikas. Tied to a tree, they can't escape. They would say, you have to pay tax. What is the tax? They would say, you bring your king, Krishna. So Krishna would be brought. So they told, you decorate your Krishna like Radharani, and we will decorate our Radharani like Krishna. So now he has to pay tax to us. So what is the tax? Everybody has to bow down, all of you guys. So all of them bow down to gopis. There are many pastimes like this. Vrindavan actually every day, it's a place of new pastimes, but you can only relish these pastimes if you develop deep reverence for Krishna first by studying Bhagavad Gita. And then by entering the Srimad Bhagavatam and understanding Krishna's Tattva very deeply. We have been speaking throughout our various lectures and everything. But Radharani is the supreme amongst all of them. Like you see here, this is Rasa dance, the verse I told you. This is the verse. Vikriditam Brajavadu Viridam Cha Vishnoho. Shraddhan Vito Anushnaya Tatavarni Yedya. This is the verse. Hridrogam, the lust in the heart will be apahinoti, destroyed. If one speaks and hears his pastimes with great respect, because Radharani is not ordinary, she is goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. See here, this verse says, Radha Krishna Yeka Atma Duyi Deha Dhari Anyonya Vilase Rasa Aswadana Kari. Who is Radharani? Radha and Krishna are one and the same, but they assume the two bodies. And in this way, they perform the pastimes of attraction. See, before you enter this song, little bit I have to, today we are running short of time. It's already 5:30 now today. The next class, two things I haven't spoken about. One is about Lakshmi, Lakshmi and Sita. I have not yet spoken because I only spoke on the tattva of the Purusha, Purushottama. I spoke about Lakshmi Narayan, Sita Ram, Radha Krishna. I spoke about Narayan. I spoke about Ram. I spoke about Krishna. In the same manner, in tomorrow's class, I'll begin with speaking about Lakshmi. Then I'll talk about Sita. Then I'll talk about Radharani. And then we will conclude with this song, Kunkumat Kanjana, the very beautiful song. We will do that. And that will be the conclusion of the Radharani's Tattva. And then we will proceed with further topic. I am only speaking tomorrow, right? Vaibhav Prabhu?
Ji Prabhuji. Ji Prabhuji.
Okay, yeah. This is good enough. We have discussed a lot of things. If you had any questions, you are most welcome to write the questions and I'll answer them in a separate video as I always do for all of you. Okay?
Hare Krishna. So let us thank Prabhuji for so wonderfully explaining to all of us such important aspects of devotional service by loudly chanting 3 times, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you. So we will all end here. So all of you who are here with us, we have sent you in Telegram 2 dramas. One is Ajamila and another one is of Gurukul. So please kindly see it before next program. We will have tomorrow at 4 p.m. Okay. Hare Krishna. So we'll end here.